Why did you become a recording artist?
So how it really started was I really put out a song in like August of like 2019, I think, called Scammer Music, and I really put it out there as just like I wasn't even really serious. Like I was serious, but I wasn't. I just put it out there real quick, uh, and I was gonna stop after that song, and it's just my city really started messing with it, and like cities around and stuff like that. And everybody's like, man, this is hard. Like, we never heard this type of sound because the sound that I kind of bring, my city not really used to that. Everybody kind of got like this same type of sound, or the melody type sound with people singing and stuff. So my sound was kind of different. So people was like, oh, you should keep going. So I kept rapping, and then I started making like other songs and stuff like that. And I think I dropped a song called Ralph Simmons, and I did the video in Tokyo or whatever. And after that, I started getting messages and stuff on Twitter and Instagram from people like out the country, other states, all type of stuff. And they're like, man, hey man, this is hard, da da da. So when I start seeing that people that I didn't know, and really was messing with, I was like, all right, bet. So I'm gonna just keep going.
Now, what city are you referencing here in this interview?
Peoria, Illinois. So like that's where I'm from.
And if somebody's not familiar with Peoria, but maybe they're familiar with Chicago, Illinois,
hmm
how far in distance is that?
It's like 2.5 hours. It's like Chicago and Peoria is like nothing. It's like it's separate. Like a lot of people, like even when I go out of town, I tell people I'm like, yeah, I'm from Peoria. Oh, where that sound? I'm like Peoria, Illinois. They like, oh, Chicago. Like really, all people really know in Illinois is Chicago. So they just automatically assume that Peoria is Chicago, but it's not even the same. It's like a whole nother different type of lifestyle.
Would you be able to describe that a little bit more in
So
detail?
like Peoria is it's a small city. It's not big like Chicago. Uh, we don't have a lot of opportunities and stuff in Chicago like Chicago has or nothing. So like, for instance, to to pop out of Peoria is way harder than it is to pop out of Chicago because we don't have anybody. We don't know anybody. We don't have no connections. Uh, we don't even really have buildings to go record. Most of the people that rap in Peoria, they record maybe at like friends' houses or they record themselves. We got people like my homie 10K. He moved to Peoria from Chicago and he records. So stuff like that is people that record. We don't even have actual buildings and stuff to record. So it's like it's kind of harder to make it because it's a smaller city. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, it's still a dangerous city just because of the fact that it is so small. So it's really kind of like a different lifestyle. It's not really that city lifestyle at all.
When you speak of dangerous, what kind of danger?
Violence, man. It's just I lost a lot of homies and stuff to as far as like to gun violence, prison, all type of stuff, and it's crazy because the main thing is, like I said, it's so small, so we really only got like a few clubs that people go to. So we got like two clubs. Everybody goes to the same clubs, or if it's a kickback tonight, everybody's going to that same kickback. So if you got a problem with somebody, 9 times out of 10, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna see that person. So I think I want to say I want to say like they released the list last year, and they said we was right under Chicago on the murder rate. I think Chicago was like seventh, we was eighth. So it's crazy, especially for it to be so small.
Have you ever been a victim of gun violence yourself?
I've never actually been like shot or nothing, but I've been like in shootings or stuff like that. But I've personally, thank God I've never been shot.
Like shootings, what do you mean?
So like I didn't been in situations where you didn't been shot at and stuff like that. It's like really stuff you really can't avoid, to be honest. And I probably got a little bit lucky, because it's like really a bittersweet thing. Because my mom went to prison when I was 14. So when my mom went to prison when I was 14, I moved with my cousin. So I'm from the south side of Peoria. So when I moved with my cousin, I moved up the hill. But like a month after me living with my cousin, she died. So then I had to move to Springfield. That's how I ended up in Springfield. And Springfield is like a totally different lifestyle from, from Peoria and Chicago. So it's kind of like I was out of that lifestyle, so I really like got to chill, you know what I'm saying? So it's more of like you're a product of your environment. So it's like that's what you're in, that's what you're around. So when I got to Springfield, I wasn't around none of that. So I was just able to just grow,
When it comes to you being in a shooting, was the shooting was it meant for you? Were you the target, or was it wrong place, wrong time?
Probably really not for me. Really, it's just the people, the people you with, the people I'm around, the people I was around at the time, just that shit just be going on.
Was it a shootout, or was it just a shooting? You were like in the crossfire of a shooting.
In the crossfire, it's just really just regular stuff, like like growing up in Peoria, especially on the south side. It's just like regular shit, you could just really just be chilling. That's how a lot of people die, you know what I'm saying? You just chilling, you thinking stuff sweet. Next thing you know, somebody could be shooting at you, you know what I'm saying? Or sometimes, like I said, you might be with somebody, you don't know what that person did, when you wasn't around them. And that's just how shit be, for real, So like a lot of times now I just really just be to myself, That's just how I like to roll. I just be with just myself or my son.
So, to someone watching this, even though you say it's regular to you, there may be somebody watching this, it's not regular to them. Maybe they've never been in that before or ever felt what that's like.
It's, to be honest, for people that's probably never been in that, I don't know how that even feels to like have never gone through that. So, cause it's really sad, like growing up in the type of neighborhoods and environments that we grow up in, because all of that is natural, growing up having like dead homies, and you got guys who you grew up with, friends, stuff that you grew up with, who in prison for the rest of their life, all that type of stuff. That type of stuff is normal to us because we see it on a regular. So to people that's like never seen that, or they don't, they've never witnessed that, it's like I don't even know how it would feel to even be in their shoes,
If somebody watching this was to get in a shooting, right? What's the protocol there?
Man, gotta duck and run, bro. It just really depends. I don't know. You probably just duck and run, really. I mean, this your natural instinct is gonna run. I'll run, move around.
And that's what you did in the instance that happened to you?
Yeah, I just moved around. I was just a shorty. That stuff used to happen. I was in middle school. You know what I'm saying? We ain't really know no better. I'm moving around. That's like,
You mentioned a cousin on your mother's side or father's side?
My mom's.
And did your mother actually pass away while she was incarcerated?
No. So my mom is alive. So my mom went to jail. My mom went to prison. Well, she was in jail at the time. She didn't get sentenced yet. The feds picked her up, and I was living with my cousin, who was kind of like an aunt to me. And man, she passed away like after a month of me living with her. They just found her. They found her in her car, like just passed away. She had a heart attack or something. So that was like kind of fucked up. So after that happened, I had to move to Springfield and shit with my grandma.
How much time in the feds did your mother have to do?
They gave her 10. And then Obama came and passed like that nonviolent law, and a lot of people got out from that. So my mom ended up, instead of doing the full 10, she did 6. So that shit was still a long ass time. Because by the time my mom went to jail when I was 14, my mom got out probably like a month or two before I turned 21. So she missed like my whole like high school shit,
What was your relationship with her while she was incarcerated?
Me and my mom always been close. Like we always been tight. Me and my mom always had a kind of like a best friend relationship, but it was still kind of like I respected her as a mom. You know what I'm saying? And she would always tell me like, I live this life, so you ain't got to, and like shit like that. When I was a kid, I didn't used to understand what that shit even meant. Like, but once I grew up, I'm like, damn, I understand. So that's why I never really tried to get in that type of lifestyle. Once I got older, like, damn, shit, if I get caught up in some shit or whatever, it's like, damn, my mom did everything she did for no reason. So I try to like really kind of take a different route.
How did you two communicate when she was incarcerated in federal prison?
Through the phone, email a lot. Letters. I ain't really like writing letters. I don't even really like writing. So really like emails and shit like that. Like when, they ship motherfuckers in the feds, they's like, it's always like they ship you far. So I ain't really get to see my mom. I think the first time I seen my mom after they shipped her off, I probably went like 3 to 4 years without seeing my mom. Cause like once she was getting out to for close to her out date or whatever, they end up shipping her back to Illinois. And where she was at the time, it was like an hour away from Springfield. So that was like my first time seeing her was when I was like, I think a freshman in college or some shit like that. And that was my first time seeing her in like 3 or 4 years because she had been in the feds for so long. And shit, like like I said, they transfer you far as hell. I think they shipped my mom all the way to like Dublin, California or some shit like that. And we, me and my grandma, like I said, I was with my grandma. We really didn't have no money and shit like that. So I really wasn't like we could even really catch a flight or drive or nothing to go see her.
When you finally did, how'd you go about doing it?
Man, I drove up there. First time I seen my mom was me and my grandma. Drove up there, seen her. Man, I was geeked. I'm geeked. Like I said, me and my mom like this. So I was geeked. First time I seen my mom like 3, 4 years. By this time I had a son. Brought my son up there to see her. That was so. Really, man, I was really just geeked. Like you really only got one mom. So it's like when you lose, when you don't got that, and then like I said, I went my whole high school without my mom. So that shit was hard. I ain't gonna lie, that shit was like a challenge, bro. Like that shit used to fuck me up. But it was like still like I said, I talk to my mom all the time, so it was always like, just keep going. She'd tell me, just keep going. Just keep going, don't let this shit discourage you.
So prior to you actually getting a chance to physically visit her for the very first time in 3 years and change, would she send back pictures of what she looked like? Did you have any knowledge?
Yeah. She would always send me back pictures. She sent me back pictures with her and her friends in jail and stuff. She would send, like, for my birthdays and stuff like that, she always had somebody draw me some type of, like, crazy. It was always hard, though. It was always tough. Like, birthdays, she sent me, like, little cards and stuff. My son, she would have, when he was born, she had somebody, like, knit him up, like a pillow, all type of stuff. People in jail are talented as hell, man. So she would always like send me like pictures and all type of stuff, just always, keeping up with me.
And that very first time you actually get a chance to see her, was it physical touch?
Yeah, it was, physical touch. Cause so like before, when my mom first went to jail, they had her in the county. And when you're in the county, you can only touch like through the glass. So that was my first time seeing my mom in like 3, 4 years. But that was like my first time hugging like even touching my mom, like 6 years. I hadn't touched my mom in 6 years. That's crazy. Now that I even think about it, that's crazy.
What was that like when you get a chance to finally?
It was crazy. I ain't cried or nothing, but it was just crazy. It was like a good moment, like to just be able to hug your mom, bro. Like that shit's crazy. Like I don't even know how to even explain to somebody how that feel, cause like you would never understand how not having your mom around feels until you actually go through that yourself.
What was her reaction when she finally gets a chance to see her grandson?
She was geeked, man. They off the back, their relationship was just sparked. She's out of jail now. Like I said, they're still close right now. They talk all the time. They got a real good bond. My mom's she's always been like very active. She's always been a very active parent. When in my life, even inside the jail was always very active. So, when she met my son for the first time, she was geeked. So it was dope. It was dope to see.
So this person that you referred to as an aunt was not your biological aunt?
No, he was my cousin.
Oh, okay, got you. Okay, so biologically you were still related.
Yeah, still related.
So I guess was this cousin of yours then kind of, well, you also had your grandmother, so I guess who filled in the void of your mother not be? I guess who was the female figure in your life?
To be honest, I ain't gonna even lie, bro. I really ain't have nobody. Like, I didn't really have no figures, period. Because like, so me and my grandma, growing up, me and my grandma didn't really have like the best bond. You know what I'm saying? So like, it ended up getting better. Like now and stuff, we talk a lot and stuff. So me and my grandma have a good bond. But like growing up, we didn't really have a good bond. Like I said, we didn't really have money. We was always broke. We really ain't have shit. Like, I remember like on holidays for like Christmas and stuff, she would like wrap up empty boxes and like shit like that. And that's, I don't know, that shit used to like break me a little bit. But like I didn't really have really a model because like I think my grandma was taking my mom being in prison kind of hard. So like she really wasn't. We really ain't talk like that. So really all I had was my grandpa. But my grandpa, he ended up going to the feds like a year after my mom or some shit like that. I think it was like the next year. So he went to jail the next year after my mom. The feds picked him up. That was really like all I had. So like after he went to jail, it was like pretty much I was just on my own, for real.
And this was grandmother and grandfather both on your mother's side.
Yeah. So like the situation with my grandfather is so crazy because, and this is why I got so much respect for my grandfather. So he's not even really my actual blood grandfather. My mom's biological dad died before she was even born. He was killed. You know what I'm saying? I really don't know the story about that because really my family is from Mississippi and they moved up from Mississippi to California, then they moved to Peoria. So like it's so much background stuff with that I don't even know about. So my grandma and my grandpa was married before I was even born. So when I was born, my grandpa just always just treated me like I was his blood grandchild. He's never treated me differently or nothing. So I always got like the utmost respect for him because he like I said, he just took me in. I was blood. Like if I ain't tell you that, you would never know that because he don't treat me no different. I don't treat him no different. He always has my son. And my son loves when they talk on the phone probably every day. Like so, I just got a lot of respect for my grandpa.
At what point in your life did you find out he really biologically wasn't connected to you?
I always knew. I always knew because I would see they would always show me pictures of like my actual grandfather, but it never really mattered to me. Like it didn't really make me feel any different. It never really I don't know. Blood never made me. It's like it never mattered. It's like I don't think blood could have made us any closer.
Your mother's first day out.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like? Were you there?
That was crazy. So my mom first day out, I was at school. I was in my sophomore year.
What school?
College. I was going to Lincoln College. So I didn't see her first day out. I came and saw her because she got on a Thursday, or maybe I don't know. I came and saw her the next day because, like I said, my grandma had to go drive and go get her. All that stuff, and I had to work, man. I was working at this fucking fast food restaurant called Kobe's. That shit was trash, horrible. So I had to work and shit. So I went and see my mom the next day, and we went to the mall and stuff like that. It was crazy because, like I said, my mom went to jail in 2010. She didn't get out till 2016. So everything was different, man. She still wanted to get a flip phone and shit like that. I'm like, bro, nobody uses flip phones like that. Like, no, then she didn't like the whole internet stuff. You know what I'm saying? Cause like my mom's like a real OG. They don't really like all that internet type stuff. So getting her to really get on the Facebook stuff and all that type of stuff, it took a while. Like she really wasn't messing with none of that stuff. She thought all that was like some cop shit. So.
When you actually see her for the very first time on the second day out, was that emotional?
I would probably, not no crying, because I ain't never really been no crier. It was really just on some, I was just happy to have my mom out. It was like a weight was lifted off my shoulder. Because damn, I would always see people with their moms, on Mother's Day and stuff like that. And just having that push from your mom is always it's just big. So just having my mom back out there with me, it was like shit, just like a big ass weight lifted off my shoulder. I just feel like, you know, I can do anything.
After she came home, did the balance of your relationship at all change? So hear me out. In the sense of, all right, when you're growing up and your mother's not incarcerated, it's a mother-son relationship. Yeah. She's a parent. She's an authoritative figure in your life. But because she was gone for 6 years out of your life, when she comes back, is she back to herself being that same authoritative figure or parent, or is it more, does the dynamic change maybe to more like a friendship type level?
It's crazy you asked that. Like, I think my mom had this talk. When my mom first got out of jail, she had been in jail so long that, like I said, she missed my whole high school. So she really kind of came out still trying to be like that parent, you know what I'm saying, on my back and everything and telling me what to do. I'm like, I'm finna be 21, like, you know, not holding it over her head, you know, and so it's not like she went to jail on purpose, but it's like at the same time, you know, you've been in jail, like you really missed that childhood. Like now I'm an adult, you know, so it ain't really none of that, you know. I still got respect for my mom and always will, but like now, you know, I really make my own rules and do what I want to do, you know.
Now, anything else you want to mention about having a parent in federal prison? Or is there a question I didn't ask people want to know about that sort of experience there?
No, it was pretty, like, I mean, most people, I think my situation just was different because it was my mom. Most dudes I be knowing, it be their dad that be in that situation. It was my mom for me, so it was really just, I don't know, like I said, my situation probably was just a little bit harder, you know what I'm saying, because usually it's always your mom that's taking care of you, or the mom has, like, the custody and stuff like that. So it's like, when you get your mom, your person that's with you every day, you know what I'm saying, basically raising you, ripped away from you, that shit just was crazy. But, you know, at the same time, like I said before, it's like a bittersweet thing for me because I feel like it made me who I am today, you know what I'm saying? It kind of like built my character a little bit, like just because I went through that shit, you know. I ain't even mad that it happened, you know.
Now, circumstances could be different for everybody, but is there anything, generally speaking, you would say to another person watching this that does have a parent in prison?
Man, probably shit. Send some pictures, man. Send them pictures. You know what I'm saying? Answer that phone. Don't really try to hold that shit over their head, man. You know, everybody makes mistakes, you know. 9 times out of 10, people ain't trying to go to jail, you know. Shit is hard. Like I was saying earlier, shit is hard. 9 times out of 10, you be a product of your environment, the shit you grow up in, and it's just like, shit, it should be what it be, you know what I'm saying? All you can really do is hope, like, they get out of jail, change their lives, you know. My mom did, so shit, that's all you really can hope.
Anything you want to say to people watching this about children that do have parents in prison?
Not really. I don't know. My situation, I don't know. I ain't really even want to talk to nobody. Like, when my mom was in jail, I don't know. I was just to myself. I really ain't really want to talk. You know, the most I can really tell somebody is, you know, probably check on that person, see if they straight, you know what I'm saying, try to take them. Because what be blowing me, like, even, like, in the hood and shit, like, you would have people, like, say your mans go to jail, right? And your mans go to jail, and he'll have a kid. Niggas will never go pick his son up, see if his son cool, needs something or nothing. You know what I'm saying? All they do is free my mans, but what is that doing for him, bro? Like, go check on this shorty, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, if somebody would have did that for me when my mom was in jail, I would have appreciated that, because like I just told you, I ain't had nobody. So, you know what I'm saying? Little shit like that, that matters, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, don't nobody really be thinking about shit like that.
When it comes to the whole entire experience of your mother being locked up and incarcerated, is this something you've mentioned in your music at all?
Yeah, I talk about it a lot on this. I actually talked about it a little bit more on this next album I got coming out called Legend. It's on my intro. I talked about it a lot because I've been through a lot of shit, and I don't really talk about it because I never really wanted nobody, like, feeling sorry for me or no shit like that, because I never really cared. It's just, like, I always looked at shit as it could be worse. So I was like, shit, it is what it is. I always been like that. So, but on my intro, I talked about it a lot. Like, I talked about it in detail and shit like that. So when that come out, I think people gonna be like, they're gonna be geeked to probably hear that.
Is there a title for this intro, or is it just simply called
It's
intro?
It's the intro.
Has your mother had a chance to hear this song yet?
Yeah, she liked it. Cause like I said, I don't really speak about that type of shit like that. So for me to, cause like with my songs, really, I really do like more shit talking. Like I really don't be getting deep into like my personal life and like shit like that. I really just be more like shit talking. So for me to do a song where I'm really talking about shit that I've been through and stuff like that, she was like, man, like, she was like emotional for her to hear.
When it came to the lyrics of that song or any songs where you do get personal in your music, has she ever requested, hey, maybe cut that out or take that out because it was too honest or too personal?
My mom, one thing I say about my mom, she ain't never really been like no person to try to like hide nothing. You know what I'm saying? She accepts, you know what I'm saying, what happened with her, and you know, she really takes that and she'll try to like tell kids, you know what I'm saying, that life ain't for you, you know what I'm saying? Cause she already went through that. So it's really more of like I said, like a bittersweet thing, like even for her, you know what I'm saying? I think, so like they say, sometimes God be having plans. So I think maybe, cause I ain't gonna lie, my mom was really one of them. So I think maybe she got put in jail to stop her from doing something that probably would have put her there permanently. You know what I'm saying? Cause I'm like, so, shit like that. So I don't even really think she really regret. I think the only thing she probably really regrets is, of course, like, you know, missing my high school and shit like that and not being there when my son was first born and shit like that. But other than that, though, she embraces it. You know what I'm saying? She owns it, shit like that. Like, even, I just shot a video with V's, you know that is, in Detroit, and I got a song, and in the song I said I had a line about, I had two lines actually about my mom, like actually selling drugs or there when she used to sell drugs, and she's in the video with me and V. So like she embraces, she know what she did. She don't do this shit no more. So it's like it is what it is, you know.
What's the name of that song or video?
That song is Stevie Wonder. The video is not out yet, but by the time you probably drop this, it'll probably be out because my cameraman's still working on it.
What genre of music do you consider yourself at this point?
Probably rap. Cause I'm trying to bring, with my songs, I don't use no auto-tune, I don't sing, nothing. And, you know, ain't nothing wrong with that, but I feel like everybody's doing that. So, you know, if everybody's doing that in years to come, that's all we gonna have is the melody rap. So I kind of be wanting that hardcore, like, and, you know, rest in peace to DMX. But like when I was a kid, I swear to God, that was my favorite rapper. Like when my mom, she would take me up to Chicago, and it was like this record store, and she would always like let me pick any CD I wanted, and I would always pick DMX. For some reason, every time we went, DMX always had a new album, and so I would always get DMX new album. I always kind of liked it that rough, like just gritty, just real rap. You know what I'm saying? So I always kind of liked it that. So.
Would she let you get the explicit versions back then, or was it the clean versions?
It may have been explicit. I think there's some cussing in there. I ain't gonna lie. I think there was some cussing in there, man. I don't know. I was a kid. Even if it wasn't no cuss words, as a kid, you knew what cuss words was in there anyway, so I was gonna say them anyway. Just not around my mom. I don't remember those. I probably the explicit, because if you get a clean DMX album, you can't even hear nothing. So it probably was explicit.
Ever get a chance to personally meet DMX?
Never. My mom met DMX. Who was this? I want to say like 2009. She was in Miami, and she said she was just walking down the street, and all she heard was his voice. And she's like, she looked, she's like, his voice was deep as hell. And she said she's seen him, and she said he was real cool. He had no security or nothing. Said he was just a cool ass dude. So, But I've never got a chance to, I don't never bump into no famous people, bro. I swear to God. I don't ever bump into, I think the only people I ever bumped into was, I met Walka in Houston in January because I shot a video in Houston when I went and picked my chain up from Johnny Dang. And so I met Walka. That was probably like the first famous nigga I probably even met. And shit, after that was probably it. I ain't never even met nobody else. Shit.
Where'd you meet him at? Johnny Dang's shop?
No, I met him. We was at the Galleria, and we was in Neiman Marcus, and I was coming down a escalator or whatever, and my homie actually seen him before I did. He had said his name. So he was like, hey, that's Sauce Walker. Ooh. And he looked up at us, and he had seen like because I had on a Bape coat, and it's from this video I did called Respect, which shit's popping too. I had on that, and if you know Sauce really messes with like Bape, stuff like that. So he was messing with like the Bape I had on, and he was cool, man. He took a picture with me. He stopped what he was doing, took a picture with me, talked to me for a little bit. And he was a cool ass dude.
And was this before or after he had the diamond implant?
It was he had it, but so like when I posted a picture, everybody's like, "Oh man, he's scared," because he had a Band-Aid over his face, over the implant, and then he kind of had his chains tucked in. But to me, I ain't look at that as no scary shit because when he was in the mall, it was just him and his homie. So like you don't really know what somebody will try to get on. That's the first thing they gonna grab is like your chains, or they got that in his face. They're gonna try to take it out of his face. So I mean, them things you probably protect. You know what I'm saying? Just be prepared. I ain't look at it as no scary shit to me. I thought it was smart.
Johnny Dang did this chain?
Yeah, he did this one. I think I ordered it. We was talking about it because I didn't talk to Johnny Dang personally. I talked to John B. He calls himself Johnny too. But I talked to him. That's like that's like his manager of the store or whatever. He real cool. So I was talking to him in November. I think we actually came up with the chain in like December. I ordered it, and then I was like, man, I'm coming down there. I said, I'm gonna come down there and get it, because I was like, I'm gonna shoot a video. And shit, I went down there and got the chain. That was my first time even in Houston. I fucked with it. I went to Houston, got my chain, and shit. It was cool. They let me in the Johnny Dang office. He wasn't there though, because they was gonna let me meet him, because we was waiting this shit. We was waiting for like 30 minutes, but he ain't come. I think they said he was busy or something. So they still let me shoot the video in the store and stuff. Let me shoot a few scenes in his office. Upstairs, they got the closet and shit. Just like the clothing store. So I shot my whole video on Johnny.
Do they charge you for that?
Just messing with me. I mean, shit, I already bought the chain.
Care to share how much this chain cost?
I ain't gonna lie, man. I dropped a little 15 piece, nothing major, just something slight.
Was it 15 just for the pendant, or
just 15 for the pendant. I actually, the chain by itself was like a band. Just regular ice chain. I actually just got another piece with my homies on it, but I had broke it, so I had to send it back to Trax so they could fix it.
Who's Trax?
TraxNYC. So they made this the other chain. I got like a chain with my homies on it. It's like a pendant, like a rotating pendant chain. But I had broke it, so they had to fix it for me.
So the necklace that you're wearing that is pendantless, that is a Trax chain as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Trax.
How did it break?
I broke the I think I was spinning that motherfucker too much. I broke the little spinning piece, but they said they gonna fix it for me for free of charge.
Can you explain your piece from
Johnny?
Yeah.
So like I said, my rap name is JayyDaBapeGod, and really how I got that name is it's really given to me, to be honest, cause I already go by Jay, but at first growing up high school and stuff, everybody just called me Jay Marley. So people still call me that shit to this day. But as I got older, I was like, bro, I really don't want to be called Jay Marley, bro. I'm grown as hell, bro. Y'all don't gotta call me Jay Marley. Y'all just call me Jay, but people still call me Jay Marley. And I'm just known for always wearing Bape and shit, Bape hoodies, Bape shirts, whatever, Bape shoes, all that. So when I got my chain, I was like, man, I want to, get a chain to, like, symbolize my rap name or whatever. And, we did, like, 3 different, like, mods or whatever. And then I actually drew this up. I was like, man, I want, like, the Bape logo. And then instead of it saying a babe and ape around it, I was like, I wanted to say JayyDaBapeGod. He sent me that shit, and I was fucking with it. And I was like, let's go.
So who actually coined your stage name then? Who do you credit with that name? Because you said it was given to you, right?
The people, really. It's not even like no specific person. It's really just like people in Peoria and Springfield. Was like, I just was known like they was like, this is BapeGod. BapeGod, like that's all he wears. So it was just like I was known as people just call me BapeGod, and so before I even started rapping, I had already changed that to my name on Instagram, like JayyDaBapeGod. So when I started rapping and I was like, man, I need a name or whatever, that was the name I went with.
So is there music under the previous name, J Marley?
No. By the time I started rapping, I didn't even go by that name no more. Like I said, people just still call me that from knowing me. But all my music is under JayyDaBapeGod.
Why 2 Ys?
2 Ys, I always pick 2 Ys in my name because I feel like that shit look hard. That shit cool as hell. Like 1 Y be looking lame as hell.
Now, what is your... Are you like a fan or a fanatic of Bape? Is it an infatuation? Is it an addiction? What is this?
I love Bape, bro. I don't know what it is. I love Bape. Like, so like when I was a shorty, when my mom was out of jail, she used to buy me a lot of Bape. And then like once my mom went to jail, like I said, I couldn't really afford the shit no more after my mom went to jail. So like I used to always tune in to the shit, like look at it and shit like that, but I could never afford it. So once I could start affording it again on my own, I just Bape. I ain't gonna stunt, bro. I probably buy some new Bape shit every week. I don't think I'll win a week without buying some Bape.
You buy it off of their website?
I buy it off their website sometimes. Usually that shit be selling out quick, bro. You be having to catch that shit early. Like I said, I actually went to Tokyo. So, like, I went to Tokyo. I went to the actual Bape stores in Tokyo. I met plugs down there. So, I got actual plugs that live in Tokyo that I buy Bape from, all type of shit. Like, I love Tokyo, too.
Do you remember your first Bape item ever?
My first Bape item ever was, I think I was in, like, either 4th or 5th grade. I had some Bape Stars. My mom bought me some Bape Stars to shoes. I was like, these shit's hard. I was like, these are hard as fuck. I used to want to wear them every day. So that was like my first Bape item, though.
Were they real?
Yeah, they was real. Yeah, it was dope. I was geek.
Ever bought a fake Bape item before?
I think when I got a little, probably like 6th grade or 7th grade, I think some of the Bape shit, like some of the shoes, the shits probably wasn't real. Because it was hard to get Bape. So like, but it was, at that time, fake shoes was like popular. So you just get some fake shoes and just wear them. But like me personally, like when I be buying that shit with my money, I ain't buying shit fake. I never like really understood the point of like buying fake shit because you spending real money to buy something fake. That shit never made no sense to me.
Now, when you did maybe have some fake Bape items in the past, you knew it was fake? You wondered or thought maybe it could be fake or maybe
to be honest, I was a kid. We didn't even care. Like, as a kid, nobody even cared if your shit was fake or not. It was them shits hard. Nobody even gave a fuck.
No one ever called you out over them?
No, nobody. Down there, everybody should have fake shoes was better than real shoes down there when we was kids. So nobody really cared. I think once we probably got to high school, like that fake wave, the fake shoes wave kind of died out. I want to say, like probably like 08, 09, that fake shoes shit was like over with. So like nobody was wearing fake shoes no more. So that shit was killed.
Favorite Bape item of all time, whether you owned it or you didn't?
My favorite Bape item of all time is the Bape Hello Kitty collab. I actually just scored on the Bape Hello Kitty hoodie like 2 months ago. I got it from a plug out in Tokyo. I was used because I couldn't find a fucking new one. But it's still like good ass conditions. Like I always wanted that motherfucker. That bitch hard.
Most you ever spent on a vape item?
Most I ever spent on a vape item, I'm trying to think. Probably like 800. It was a Chrome Hearts though. It's a Chrome Hearts and vape collab. They did a collab in 2009, and the shirt was brand new. That motherfucker was hard. I had to cop that bitch.
And that was through secondary means?
Yeah. You can't get that off the website now. That shit old as hell.
What do you think's the worst or ugliest vape item ever, whether you owned it or not?
That Tom and Jerry just did some Tom and Jerry shit. That shit was trash. They bogus.
What do you think the best time, period, in vape has been so far? Capsule or collection or wave?
Probably when we was shorties, man. Back when like Kanye West went. Back when what's his name? Nigo. When Nigo owned the shit, that's when it was lit. When it was for real and Kanye West was wearing the shit and Wayne and Joel Santana, all of them. That's when that shit was. I probably think that's when it was at its peak. That's when it was the littest to me.
Do you follow a religion?
I'm not really like a religious person, to be honest. Like, I believe in God and shit, but like I ain't never really been like no religious person. Like I never even like to go to church.
You were raised to follow religion?
It's weird, man. So like, not really. My grandma always been like a church lady and stuff, but me and my mom, we never really been like that. Like, I went to a private school in 8th grade, so that was like we had to study religion and shit. But I ain't go there because my mom wanted me on some religious stuff or no shit like that. It was really because I got kicked out of school. I got kicked out of public school in 7th grade, so in 8th grade I had to go to private school. But that's why. But other than that though, I ain't never really been no religious person.
What was the name of the public and private school?
My public school was Tree Wind in Peoria. That shit was horrible. And I'm talking about fighting like every day. Like it was crazy. It was like 7th grade. So then I think I got kicked out of school I got kicked out of school the week before the last week. Out of all fucking times, that's when I got kicked out of school, and my mom was pissed, bro. So she was like, "You're going to private school and shit like that." Woo, woo. So I had to go to a private school in 8th grade called Christ Lutheran. And it's what's so crazy is Christ Lutheran is like still in the hood, like it's still in the trenches of the South. But when I be looking back at that shit though, I be kind of glad that I did go to that shit because, man, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't know shit at Tree Wind. I ain't know how to multiply, divide. I ain't know how to do shit. Like, I think I had all D's. I remember when my teacher at Christ Lutheran had got my transcripts, I had all D's. No, I had all F's, a D, and a B. She's like, we ain't doing that here. But like, that was like, we ain't never had to do shit. So I come to school and I go to sleep. It was like so crazy. You come to school, you really couldn't focus on your work because you had to worry about fighting. Who was on your ass today? So I'm really going to school and I'm fighting. I ain't really got no time to really be focused on doing no work, like shit going on. So when I went to a private school, just like I say, even when I went to Springfield, it's like when you get taken out that environment, you don't really got shit else to do, but really just do what you're supposed to do. So shit, I probably say I got more education when I went to the private school and shit because I had more time to learn. I could focus more.
So what were you actually expelled for?
What was I expelled for? Man, I think that was like my last straw. Man, I had in-school suspension, and dude-ass was in there tweaking. The in-school suspension teacher, they always be on some goofy shit. They be getting their little power and be tweaking and shit. So I think I had walked out. Me and my homie Jordan and shit, we had walked out and shit. And we came back to school, like 2 days had went by. I'm thinking shit sweet. I think like 2-3 days went by. And then one day, one of the assistant principal came and got us and shit. He used to have a big ass boot on his foot. He came and got us with the boot on. And he like, come to the office. And I got to the office. Then he took me to the principal. I forgot her name. And they called my mom. They said, this is the last straw. And it's like, shit, you suspended. My mom was pissed, bro. she wasn't feeling that.
So you were suspended or expelled?
I was expelled.
When it comes to the pendant that you have, do you know the color, cut, clarity of the diamonds or the setting? Or
So I know it's, what is it? It's 14 karat yellow gold, because I ain't want the rose gold with this. The tennis chain and the memorial piece, that's rose gold, but this one is yellow, and then it's VVs.
And why'd you go to Johnny for it?
Man, to be honest, I just thought that shit was lit. Like, being a kid, you always see like all the rappers and shit like, oh yeah, Johnny. And even now you hearing rappers and shit say something about Johnny. So I was like, man, I want to get my first chain from Johnny, man. I don't like go to Johnny. And so shit, I don't know, when I finally grabbed me a chain, I went to grab my first chain from Johnny. That shit be lit. Like, even like no lie, like even when I be in certain places and people like, oh man, your chain hard, like type shit, and they'd be like, they be like, where you get your shit from? I'm like, I got it from Johnny. And like people faces change. Some people think I'm capping, then I show them the back of my shit with the Johnny Dang style. They go, oh shit. So like, but like when I say Johnny Dang, like when people see you got a chain, they're like, oh okay. But when you say that shit came from Johnny Dang, they be like, oh damn, yeah. So I don't know. People turned up off that shit.
What does $15,000 around your neck feel like?
Like a trophy. It feel like a trophy. I even tee my city up. Like I said, I'm from a small city, so like we ain't really had nobody really do no shit like that. So like when I did that, then I shot the video and shit like that. Like ain't nobody never really seen no shit like, especially from no rapper. Like we ain't never had no like local rappers. We ain't got no rappers famous from Peoria, so we ain't really never had no rapper go to Johnny Dang and ice his neck out and no shit like that. So that was like, that shit was like a trophy. I feel like I had brought a trophy back to the crib down there to me.
Was spending that amount of money worth it?
Yeah, I think so, because look, the reason why I say this right is because, okay, before I got my chain, I used to tell people I rap. They be like, okay. And they be like, oh, what's your name? Sometimes they ain't even ask that. It's just like, oh, okay. But like, now when I be having my chain and I tell like people, it's like it get people attention. And it's like people take you more seriously. So when people see you got a chain, it's like they don't be trying to love boy you. Like you ain't, like you broke or you just, like you ain't know nothing. It's like people take you more seriously. So like I done been certain places where I done got the manager or the owner number of the store that I was in, or I done got people who do billboards for buses and trains and all type of stuff, just off them looking at my chain like, oh, but that's dope, woo woo. Cause like when people see you got a chain, then they be like, oh, what do you do? And then I'm like, oh, I rap. And then they be like, oh, what the band? They give me their phone. Like now, when I tell people I rap, they give me their phone and want me to pull myself up. Before I had the chain, like, I don't rap. They be like, oh, okay. Like nobody really cared. But it's like when you got that chain, people feel like you kind of making it, or you doing something right that you make it make you look like you somebody. That shit sounds stupid, but what I noticed with this rap shit is really about your image. Like, no matter what you saying or nothing, you really can be doing what you rapping about or whatever, or you really can have money and whatever. But if you don't match your image that you rapping about, or if you just don't meet that rap image, period, nobody want to hear that shit. Like, nobody take you seriously.
And for time reference, it's May 2021.